Couchsurfing was one of the main inspirations for why I wanted to start a guest house. If you're not familiar with couchsurfing, it's a little bit like Airbnb. It's a web space where travellers can come and look for accommodation in a particular place that they're going, and other people, such as myself, who had space to share. I had extra beds in a townhouse that I was renting, and I was able to put myself out there as a host and accept people who were looking to come and stay or not. It was completely up to me whether I accepted people. But I had so much fun, and it was a great time for a couple of years. This was back in 2012, 2013, and I was single and just enjoying the company of travellers. There's always something just that I've enjoyed so much about talking with travellers and being in the company of people who are travelling, because they are generally, kind of outside their comfort zone, and conversation is it's different, yeah. And the other cool thing that I enjoyed about it was to be able to give people a comfortable place to stay, a comfortable place to come and relax and feel safe and unwind and hopefully enjoy some good conversation over a good meal. I had so many great meals cooked for me by people from all over the world, and I took the opportunity too, because the reason I'd rented that townhouse was because it had a great studio space and I had all these guests coming, so I decided that I'd photograph them all. So most of the people, if not all of the people that stayed with me, got at least one portrait. Some of them were in the studio, others were out and about and just enjoying Chiang Mai, and used to love showing people around Chiang Mai and just getting out and doing stuff together and just really enjoying it. But it was kind of the seed of an idea. I did that for a couple of years. It was pretty busy at times, and especially during festivals. We had so much fun during Songkran Festival and Loy Krathong Festival. But then when I met my wife, and I kind of got tired with the couch surfing, people coming and going all the time, and we wanted a bit more space to ourselves. And that was, so it was just the beginning of something, just an idea to have a guest house, a homestay somewhere. And when we eventually started looking, we found our place out here in the foot of Doi Intanon, and as you can see, it's sort of in amidst the rice fields, and then the trees you can see here, these are longan trees. These are, or locally known as lamyai trees. So this is where we live, and it's just at the base of the highest peak in one of the biggest national parks in Thailand, because we just knew that we were going to have to, if we were going to run a guest house, it would have to be somewhere really practical where people would want to come and stay. And this is something that we've taken from my couchsurfing experience, was that we wanted to provide somewhere that was comfortable and relaxing, that people could just really unwind and really enjoy it. And I think I've said before too that the most common thing that people say to us, especially if they've only stayed for one night, is that they wish they'd been staying for longer. So as we looked around, we decided that this location would be pretty ideal. It's on the way to Doi Intanon. As I said, this is one of the biggest national parks. It's the highest peak in Thailand, and so it attracts a lot of visitors, especially during the cool season, when up on the top of the mountain, which is another 2.3 kilometres straight up from where I am at the moment. We're about 300 metres above sea level, and the top of the mountain's 2,600. So people get up there in the cool season around December and January, and it gets pretty cold up there. It hits freezing sometimes. So people who live in Bangkok, they've got no idea what the cool weather's like unless they come up to the mountains. So that makes it pretty attractive, pretty interesting for them. But a lot of the rest of the time it's pretty warm, and down where we are it's certainly not that cold. I have recorded 7 degrees Celsius at our place one day. That was pretty cool. But you can't see the mountain, you can't see much of it at all today. We can't see the peak from here, it's too far away, but it's right up behind me in those clouds at the moment. And so people come and they enjoy going up there. There's lots of trekking, hiking, there's waterfalls, there's jetties, there's all sorts of cool things to see and do up there. And it's a pretty attractive place for a lot of tourists to come, both Thai and international. and it's easy to get to. You know, we're about an hour or so drive here from Chiang Mai, south of Chiang Mai, and the roads are all good. And then Chiang Mai is about an hour flight from Bangkok. It's pretty easy to get to. It's reasonably convenient, but not too convenient. You've got to take a little bit of an adventure to get out here, and that's kind of the people that we're really interested in connecting with, is people who are traveling rather than just being tourists. So where we are here at our place, we've got no immediate neighbours. Our closest neighbours are kind of south from us a little way. Just let me see if I can get out and show you. About 200 metres away, or 100 metres or so away. And there's a few people live down there, but not many. Over by the Chetty down there. And then further up, you can't see it, but behind the palm there, there's a village with about 60 houses, and so that's the local village to us, called Dartmoon. And about 10 minutes drive from us is Chomtong, which is the closest town. But we decided that we'd want to live out in a field, and I was showing you those lamyai trees before, the longans. That's what this property was like before when we bought it. It was an orchard. It was kind of a bit run down. I think the farmer was kind of tired. He's a little bit older gentleman, and he was looking to sell the land because he was tired of working it, and it probably wasn't earning him a whole lot of money. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of money in farming lamyai anymore. So we're quite comfortable living down here with the rice fields in front of us and behind us and beside us. And on the other side, there's a vacant piece of land that's got some mango trees on it. We've got to be careful sometimes of the cows and the buffalo when they're grazing on the fields at the back during the off-season for the rice, because they like to come into our garden. But apart from that, there's no real problem with people coming onto the section or anything. All of the neighbours are super friendly. The people here are so open and kind and helpful. It's a really lovely place to live. The last place that I lived in Chiang Mai, where I did the couch surfing, I had a townhouse there, a 3-storey townhouse. I had neighbours on either side of me and right behind me and right in front of me, and virtually no one ever paid any attention or even made eye contact or talked. So coming down here where the neighbours aren't quite so close to us, but they are super friendly, so it's really nice. It really makes up for it. And it's a nice environment when we have travellers here. If people want to go for a walk, I said, just take your time, walk anywhere you like, watch out for snakes underfoot maybe, and if you see people, make sure to smile at them and say hi. So both my wife and myself are happy with the decision that we made to move down here. We're both pretty comfortable in our own skin. We don't need a lot of company. We're certainly not out and partying in the nightlife at all. And so living in the rural environment suits us fine. The peacefulness down here is just indescribable, really. It's so lovely. Sitting on the porch in the evening, I'll quite often know before it starts raining, because I can hear it coming from quite a long distance away. Just hearing the rain falling on the hillside, and there's nothing there to interrupt it. It's a really beautiful thing to be able to live in such a peaceful environment, and it's a real getaway. And it's one thing I certainly don't miss about being in the city, is the constant noise. Being down here and having a good space for a garden and having a nice sized piece of land to be able to have a few guest rooms on is really cool. Our home itself is the guest house. We've got 2 guest rooms in the main home, and then we built another one that we call a family cottage that's got a couple of guest rooms and a little living area and a patio with its own bathroom out there. And so we're able to accommodate a few people, but not too many, and it just makes for a really good environment. And we like the carry on over from the couch surfing feeling of hanging out with the guests and chilling with the guests if it's appropriate. Not everybody's into it, and sometimes we're not in the mood for it, but oftentimes we'll have good conversation with the guests and really just enjoy talking to people about lifestyle, making recommendations for hiking trips and waterfalls to see and things like that. And so living in a rural environment in northern Thailand is very, very fitting for both myself and for my Thai wife. It was a big change for both of us, but like I said, it's one that we're quite happy with and look forward to continuing for a long time to come.